I'm sorry, I was like watching the Late Show. So Asia brought her cat with you, her?
Yep, just the kitty was at the dog down here.
Now like Kitty found laptop. Warm must sit.
Let's see. Should I? Are we episode 32 or 33?
I don't know. Go to wowcast.com to find out.
Say, you have to check.
According to Wowcast, it'll be 33.
Ooh.
We'll be doing 33 this week. Maybe I should pull up Twitch in the background like I always do. Wordcounter.net. Let's go there instead. Yeah.
I am.
Oh, my cat had her time on my lap today, so she's actually content. Normally, if she doesn't get her time on my lap, she gets angry. I realized by the time, like, after all these, I ordered a bunch of Disney movies because I had a bunch of Disney points. By the time all the Disney movies come in, I'll have enough points to order one more movie.
Oops.
Yeah. So. Especially since Doctor Strange, if you get the Blu-ray DVD digital, is worth 200 points.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely want to get that. That's such a good movie.
Yeah.
It did get nominated for the Oscars, but
Should have won all of them.
I know. I was thinking
Speaking of
Star
which-
Wars. Like Star Wars should have won everything.
I need to add it to Kai's Kindle free time so he can watch it whenever he wants.
I could say
Nice.
something about having a cat on my lap.
I've said enough about that in our previous chats about me having
That's it.
a cat, unquote cat, somewhere.
That's for the offline, not the online.
Yeah. Let's see, I need to...
So, I'm gonna organize my
Need
desk.
to manage Amazon child profile, though. No. Scroll enough and it makes you sign in to Twitch. What?
I'm excited though. I got all of this edited. Woohoo! It's really tiny too. Well, I gotta type it up now, but it's mostly done.
Hey, that's nice. That's pretty dang awesome. I mean, again, I haven't done anything in months, which makes me seem a losery.
That's alright. Got plenty to catch up with.
Okay, I shouldn't say I haven't done anything because I have wrote like 3 or 4 outlines to
nice.
other books.
It's almost. I'm actually just reading this right now, structuring your novel. So, it's good. Good read.
Doctor
Have some
Strange
ideas on
and Frida.
like where to start and stuff. Did you guys get that link I shared earlier about how not to kill each other with collaborating?
I think I started looking at it, but I don't know if I finished looking at it. As Joe knows, I've been having some serious issues with my staying awake.
Yeah. That's right. It had some good points to it, I thought. So, kind of like how, like, you know, where to focus on in a collaboration project versus your own personal one. So,
Gotcha.
I do like that.
it talked about like being more character focused and stuff, kind of working from the characters out. So, which is opposite from what I do normally. I've got this cool like screen glare.
So wait, it was talking about working from where to where? I missed that last part. I thought you said it was working from the characters out, which is what you don't do normally.
Yeah, typically I work from like the plot, like the
Oh, okay.
like what's happening, and then into the characters, like how they react to it. So
See, that would be probably a good way to do it, because the reason why I do it the way I do is because I'm a gamer with so you think D&D wise, I create my D&D character, then I start creating the world around my D&D character. That's really how I found out why I do it the way I do.
yeah, I guess it depends. Like, on one of my stories, it was very character driven. It just depends on the story. The one I'm working on now is very plot based. Like action, but
Action. Let me pull up keep with all the links, and then I'll just post them. We've learned that I can't post them all at the same time, so I have to. These are put inners in between. No, maybe that'll work. Maybe.
that goes.
It's like that scene in Blair Witch Project, with the whole shaky cam thing.
I'm gonna try this, guys. We'll see what happens. Watch Twitch chat closely.
Did you guys
I
sign?
actually like this.
Did you guys sign your NDAs? Yeah. Dang it, guys! They didn't sign their NDAs. They can't be on cam.
Okay, now to me that looks perfect, but to everyone else, how does it look?
I see your head.
Yeah,
No, I was
I
talking
don't
about the
see-
chat.
I don't see your beard.
Twitch chat. Twitch chat.
It's still jumbled together.
yeah.
Just gonna have to do one at a time, dude.
But on mine, it's perfect. How
Yeah,
dare
it's
you
like
guys
a-
not be perfect like me?
It goes main site. You actually can't do it.
Why is someone trying to call it Wowcast offline?
I don't know. I'm gonna decline that.
Asia, are you calling? Asia's calling in.
Oh, that's fine.
Do it.
There's not two Why are you mirroring yourself? One brightly lit, one not. And how is one brightly lit and the other one not?
Because I have two cameras. I have one camera. You got the
Gotcha.
nose.
I actually like this because I can see the Twitch, and then the Skype automatically puts this tiny window called current call in front of all windows, so that way I can keep track of where Twitch is as where we actually are in real life.
Yeah, that's true.
So when we actually start, I just want to test that one time. When we actually start, I'll actually go ahead and I'll post each one individual. Link-wise, I just wanted to test it one more time to try to.
Have you tweeted anything, Joe?
No. I was busy
Gotcha.
petting a kitty.
Oh. Damn. Oh crap.
Archie, I think, wants me to build levels for him.
Hello from the other side.
They keep calling you.
It's
gonna keep
Asia
declining.
trying to get in on the call.
Seriously.
I'm gonna move this stuff around and maybe I'll look cooler. But then actually, I think if I need to take this off, possibly. Does that look better or not? I can't tell because Twitch is not. It's not showing me. I probably need to go to the Skype opening one. That does look better, actually. Why is my window so dang tiny? I mean, I need to make things bigger.
All right, folks, it is 9 o'clock. Are we ready to rumble? Let's hope Trello is actually working today, because it wasn't halfway through work. No, we're going to get you in on future ones. Should we bring her in this time, guys?
Why am I coughing?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. To-dos.
Oh, we're running late. I was like, I need to go get water.
Oh, yeah. You added a lot to this thing on the side here.
Well, it's like all these links at the same time, but the thing is like if I can post them individual, like if Joe closes out his and reopens it before we go live, which I guess we're already live.
We are live.
Have we done our intro?
It is 9:01.
Intro time. Here we go.
Do. The writer's journey has many paths and starts with a single blank page. How would your journey begin, and what path will you take? How will you fill your page? Welcome to Word Art Online, the Writer's Hangout, episode 33. I don't know what we titled this because it's not on my list. For those of you that are just tuning in, we are Word Art Online. We're just a couple of writers, group of writers trying to figure out the writer's journey one day at a time. And occasionally we're going to have special guests like we have over there. We have a couple of gamers in our studios playing Munchkin. One of them is actually one of our usual chatist person.
Explain to them why you're in two cameras.
Why am I on two cameras? Because I felt like it.
Okay.
I am
just
Joe.
say now.
I am Joe. I'm a little off.
One of your cameras is covering up your name.
Oh yeah. The important name is still up there. But yeah, I'm a aspiring writer. I do mostly RPG games, like RPG story-based, story-driven games. Eventually, I'd like to get to a QE position at one of the big studios, Bethesda or BioWare or Respawn. Just got through done with Titanfall. Just got through with Titanfall, and absolutely loved it. So found a bug too. Submitted that. That was cool. My current project I'm working on is for Harsh Realities called Elfwood. It's a seafaring campaign setting for 6S. And I'm also working on my first game release called Escape from the Con. Ben, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm the guy who just posted a bunch of links on side. There you'll find our main site, our Twitter, our YouTube account, and collaboration doc that we are currently working on. As for me, I'm a dad, a husband, a website admin, a podcast host, a quality assurance team lead, minister, doctor of metaphysics, master of silly putty, novelist who hasn't published anything, and a voice actor for an actual local movies. So I've done a lot of different things. I tend to do a lot of different things. I am currently, as far as writing goes, I have one novel finished, unedited, that I haven't looked at in a year, or almost two. I have one novel half finished, and I have a children's book that I'm currently looking into getting an actual illustrator to get it ready and get it going, but I haven't heard back from them yet. Other than that, if you go to our site, I do have a poetry book just like Matt does, but Matt is way better than mine because he actually was smart enough to edit his and actually have it done by an actual publisher, where mine is kind of a piece of junk. But it's not all piece of junk. I mean, there's still some good poetry in there. I'll maybe even read some tonight. And apparently the internet had died for Matt.
Uh-oh.
So Joe, we gotta kill some time here. Waiting for the Matt.
Alright, well, we talk. Okay, until Matt gets back, we can talk the collaboration story. Basically, the idea that we have is we are trying to get input from the different people out there for our this little collaborative collaborative project. If I can speak English,
You can say hello.
What's that?
You can say hello from the other side. when you can speak
Hello
English.
from the other side. Yep. Let's see. Recent. I'm getting into the doc here. I should be able to share it, but I don't know. Budget, story in progress. That is not what I want to share. Wildcast collaboration project. Here we go. All right, so where we left off last week is we were talking character development, and we were talking. Wow, that makes me really weird. It's funny. On Skype, I've got two cameras down. All right, we need to invite Matt back in, I think.
Wow, you have a massive comment of your own on this
I
thing
do.
that you comment.
I do, and I wanted to go over that idea with the group. Something about Asher that I thought would be kind of cool is her backstory of why she came into why she came into contact with the computers, and her, kind of developing that strong backstory. And one of the ideas that I had was, I put it into comments here, that perhaps her secret is her father was either a drug lord of a pharmaceutical company or a big-wig tech-based CEO. He moved into her family's town and tried to set up a business operation and branch of his business. Asher's mother fell in love with him, and because he was already married and a divorce would rip his company apart at its seams, they had to keep their relationship a secret. When he moved back home, he didn't realize that he had bred a daughter and a son. On a business trip to the town, he met up with Asher's mom and discovered his children were his children. Unable to produce a son of his own, he was overjoyed that he now had an heir to his name and company. He helped finance his extended family. Asher took a liking to computers. She was more comfortable with computers than people. Her father pretty much rejected her existence and focused his attention on her brother, Jameson. After her mother died of an overdose, possibly from a drug from the company that the dad worked at, her dad finally noticed her, taking her and her brother in. Her brother was a very smart jock, very caring of others. Think Captain America style integrity. He's the jock that will go out of his way to cater to the nerds. He sees somebody getting bullied, and he basically says, no, that's not right. You're not going to do that. But he's also, one of the popular guys. He maybe he has his own little bit of outcast in him, considering he is the jock, he is the nice guy, but everybody sees that. They don't try to look deeper to give him a little bit of a backstory. Okay, going back to Asher's backstory, being big into tech, she discovered her way into a group of hackers. She finally found a home. Her father discovered... Hang on just a moment here. Matt says, crap, it's dead. So we might be without Matt tonight.
I'm gonna cry.
He's having internet issues. Let's see.
Wow.
The week of her, being big into tech, she discovered her way into a group of hackers. She finally found a home. Her father discovered her aptitude for science, electronics, and computers, and she comes into possession of an AI prototype that she reprogrammed to help her when she is struggling. The week of her taking by the aliens, her father had recently discovered the advanced AI and tried to take it from her. She was 3 days from being 18, so she packed up her things and ran away from home. She hid in the city for a few days. Hey, Matt. She was 3 days from being 18, so she packed up her things and ran away from home. She hid in the city for a few days until she turned 18. What she doesn't know is that her brother had convinced the AI to work with the brother on protecting her sister, or his sister. Her brother even convinced her dad to let her go, that he would make sure she was safe. Um, Kind of a interesting little twist there. I thought it provided a really good, solid backstory for her as far as what happens on Earth. So when we start writing these stories, if we wanted to do like the like kind of like Arrow and Flash do, well Arrow mostly, where you have a scene, you have the collaborative scene where everybody's on the ship and they're dealing with that stuff, but it flashes back to these guys' home lives, and they're able to kind of grow and show different elements of their life back home. It's stuff that I think would be fun to play with, and it would be something that we could do offline if we wanted to, and then stuff like that we could add into the story later. I don't know. I wanted to bring that up to you guys. I think Matt's having issues.
Matt, come back. I miss him so much.
Hey Blair, on the counter is that Aquafina. Did you bring it to me? So what do you guys think of the backstory?
Well, I like it. I wish Matt wasn't dying. Well, figuratively, not literally.
We're all dying.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I don't know about the Captain America brother thing, but
That's just mainly
that also makes sense.
Write it. You have one person. I did a little bit of digging on parent siblings who have polar opposite raisings, right? Because her dad focused so much on her and her.
No, I see. I just missed some of it, and I now understand where I was getting.
Sure.
I was just with Matt being disappearing and me looking through something on the line, and the world just coming to an end. I didn't know what day it was.
But yeah, I can flesh out that backstory if we would like and add it into.
I think it's a good one, as long as no one objects out there. Do you guys object out there?
Yeah, what do you guys think?
My face is awfully now huge, and now there's two of your faces.
I know, I see that.
That's kind of ridiculous.
I'm going to remove one camera because we don't need the other
Try
camera.
to keep the brighter one if you can. Well, actually, the brighter one's not hooked to your Skype, so then...
Yeah, I can do it. I can do that easy. No, I can't. Never mind.
Oh, if you go into preferences, there's audio, video. You can switch those out.
But,
that's how I switched microphone.
Yeah, it works. I'll just make it bigger because people don't need to know who I am. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna put enter. I'm gonna put this story into a little box. Format. We're getting text in. Can't use the vid to chat. Too much mobile data use. Gonna keep trying on the modem.
Man, that sucks.
Alright, so it looks like Matt is out for the night, sadly.
Well, he's going to try to use the modem, so he may be back.
He's working on the modem, yes. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties with Matt. And that happens with robots.
Matt is one, yeah.
He needs a software upgrade bad. Those Windows XP models, they last forever, but they start to show their age after a while. Okay, so we added that. Matt was wanting us to see if we wanted to go into some scene development. I was kind of hoping he'd be here for it. How do I
develop a scene? I have no idea. I never do it. I wing my scenes.
I'm going to align this to right, so that way people kind of know that, hey, this is a work in progress area. something I'm gonna say, but I should be nice. Let's see. Nope. We put that there. Table, insert table. There's that. Aha! Done. And I will flesh that out as the week goes by, and we will flesh it out. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about. Since we'll keep world building because you and I are really good at world building. What?
We can.
What elements? Why are the
Aliens?
the aliens kidnapping? Why are the aliens kidnapping humans?
Well, basically, and what we found out with us is, okay, so what's happening is they're trying to look for the brightest of the humans, mostly probably to gauge how, like, okay, so the brightest of the humans throughout time, mostly to try to gauge probably a threat level.
Okay.
Or the possibility of alliance, if they're worthy of alliance. But either way, what we figured out is that we were originally in the bottom tier, and then as we escaped and kept moving up, we moved up tiers, and the people behind us actually got released, is my guess, or more different kinds of experiments. But for the most part, they're looking for intelligent life. They're literally actually looking for intelligent life. And they're seeing if it's on Earth. And now then they have to necessitate whether it's a threat or an ally, or how they can use it. I mean, it's basically it's a science experiment in a way to see. Yeah, when you meet someone new, you gotta assess them. Except they're doing it more scientifically, like they're assessing the smartest parts of the threat throughout time. Because unlike because they're they're at least fourth dimensional beings, or we're only third dimensional beings.
When they kidnap from do they intend on returning home? Returning the people home?
Sure, I think they do, but they return the ones that are no longer useful. Definitely. So they do return all. So, like, for us, they weren't returning us because we became useful to them.
Right.
We actually showed the intelligent life form.
We were genetically
now
different.
We never got. Yep. Maybe even we were genetically different. Yep. Actually, we are.
Do we want to have, and this is something that I think would be kind of cool, and I love when Stargate did this.
We were compatible with their technology as well, which not all humans are.
What if we played it off where we don't come from Earth? We come from a planet that basically supports life, and it's kind of parallel to Earth as far as, like, it had a similar history. It had a similar time development. That way we can do kind of. But I mean, you have the aliens and stuff, and that gives us a chance to, if we ever do go visit Earth, maybe our planet, we don't have we believe in the same thing, that there's no
Well, here's what it is probably, okay, so let's put it this way. Years ago, when the Earth was still forming, it was indeed hit by a meteor, and that was, according to, if you ever watch Mars and some alien things, was what spawned life, okay,
right.
on Earth. We'll just say what happened is what spawned life. We were sent off into two different, like, there's a dying race somewhere, okay, and it sent off several pods to different possible Earth-like planets. And maybe what this one's trying to do is to try to find which planet most survived the better, which. So maybe these alien is actually part of that planet, or maybe they're the enemy of those, or maybe they were friends of them. But either way, this dying planet sent off a bunch of world starters in a way. So they seeded a bunch of planets and let them grow. So we are the same beings from Earth, but on the Earth we ended up on, there was magic. And also these aliens maybe have, since they control time, they have been mirroring events in in all these worlds, just to kind of, like, we're like a giant petri dish. We're like in a giant experiment to them. That's all we are. Like, we aren't actually like any kind of means to anything. We're just a giant experiment where they seeded a bunch of planets. They kept the timeline similar. The planets themselves had different aspects, so we had magic, where here they had technology.
Does our planet know about Earth?
No. Because they want to keep them separated for the sole purpose of... they want to keep everything separated because, that's what you do with an experiment. You want to keep everything in its own closed environment.
Makes sense.
So these fourth-dimensional beings are controlling, and they're creating these petri dishes and stuff.
Okay, so meteor that hit Earth, it hit multiple planets out there that could sustain life. This alien race is...
And basically, we could all be descendants. Basically, we're the same alien, like, we're the same species, to be honest. But we were raised in different environments.
Do you want the aliens? Do you want the alien race to be humans as well? Humanoid?
Oh, they're gonna be the pure aliens from their planet. We are. They send us off into different planets, okay, to test, because if maybe, let's say, their planet's dying like ours is,
right?
They need to find a new planet. How best to grow. So why not test all the different aspects they have?
Could we possibly
we're just a big science experiment.
Could we possibly throw something in there as far as like the humans there act like almost like high elves? I'm not talking about token elves. I mean the prim, the proper, we are the superior race of elves. Yes,
that would be one thing. They're a superior race. They only see us as experiments. They don't see us as actual beings.
Even though we're the same.
Yes.
Kind of like the Asgul or whatever from...
Yeah, Asgard.
Star
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about this, Matt? What have you... What did we miss out on you, for you?
After the introductions.
Okay. So basically what we did...
What was the first thing you started hearing about?
Kind of read a little bit. But.
Okay. I added a little backstory for Asher, and this will catch people up in chat too. If people in chat want to join into the collaboration, we'll definitely add you in. One of our visitors is distracted by Munchkin at the moment. We added a little backstory for Asher, which I figured I didn't know if we wanted to work on that kind of stuff, the details of their past lives outside of the chat, outside of the Wednesdays or the Tuesday night shows, or if we just wanted to keep doing it all as one. I'm okay doing whatever. This story just kind of hit me a lot.
Well, I think that it's something that because I mean, as we're writing this, like, we don't want to like just dump backstory at first. So I think it can be something that we kind of have an idea on,
okay.
And then when we get to that point in the story where we talk about it, then we can be brought up or whatever. But I don't know. I mean, if we wanted to work on it before or just kind of as it goes, I'm thinking with mine, I might just work on mine kind of as it goes, just to kind of see
That's how I'm going to do mine, but
how it
it's
fits in the
And
story.
that's fine.
it's fine to think of it ahead of time.
But well, what I was thinking too, it kind of lost the whole first part of what we were talking about. But I was thinking too, like just kind of from what I'm reading is like, you know, we want to, even though there's, you know, multiple characters and stuff, or do we want to do multiple points of view, or are we just doing like the one character?
I would think multiple.
Well, I thought we were going to do... Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there might even be a point where we all do one mission. We each write a chapter, which is a different version of that mission. Like what was that one movie with? Oh, there was this really cool movie where like this one, it was a government conspiracy thing happened, or something like that, and it showed 4 or 5 different people's view of that exact same day.
Nice.
Until like at the end, you actually found out what the actual what actually all happened.
Yeah. So that's another question too. Is like, how do we want the tone to be? Like, do we want it to be more like a mystery type like that, or like a just do an action?
I've been watching a crap ton of action movies lately, so I'm gonna be voting for that. Because let's say I started off with watching Die Hard, then I watched Red, then I watched John Wick, then I watched Shoot 'Em Up. I'm literally on an action kick right now.
Nice. Okay, so sorry to interrupt you, Joe.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's why I wanted to catch you up. Because that's it. I want you to be, you know, all three of us to be a part of this, and especially our chat. For those that are interested, especially those that are watching us on YouTube, any comments that you make in the chat down below in our pants bar will be below our pants bar. Will be considered, and we'll talk about it the next show. The only chat that we had, or the only comment, was me saying, "Hey, this is a great episode," because I was bored.
Nice. I actually can't see the Twitch chat right now. I'm not
the
on
only
it
thing
just
that we've got is
yeah, I think I'm actually gonna knock down the Twitch chat almost because it's freezing. Oh, the chat's not freezing, but the
video.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Yeah.
We have nothing from chat other than me chatting, and then Creeper's wife saying XP.
Yep. So, yeah.
I'll catch Matt up on the world if we need to, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what we're kind of thinking about the world is that basically there was an alien race a long time ago, but they're fourth dimensional beings. So to them, it could have been yesterday. Who knows? Because since they're fourth dimensional beings, they can actually see the fourth dimension. And to them, it's just part of everything. Where to us, we're third dimensional, but we're actually the same beings. So what they did a long time ago is they realized that their planet or something is dying. So they sent out a bunch of seeds to different planets all over the universe. Okay, to see how they would grow up and nurture. They kept the timelines pretty similar. Now ours and Earth are basically the exact same. The timelines are very similar. The only difference between the two planets is the planet we grew up on has magic. Okay? Instead of where they had electricity and invented. There's even like a steampunk realm and stuff like that. So what we are is we're just experiments. And so what they do is they collect us every once in a while, and they try to get the brightest out of the crop to kind of like experiment, see, okay, well, which is the best planet for nurture kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And so we're only seen as this petri dish. And that's why they've kept us and got rid of everyone else, kind of, because we were smart enough to start escaping.
Mm-hmm.
And as Joe says, they see themselves like high elves, better than us. They're pure, but at the same time, we're still the same species, technically. We may not have gained that fourth dimensional ability yet, or maybe that's part of their planet's nurture that we don't have.
Okay. So I was going to say, too, I think that kind of adds an extra fun little twist, too, on our taking over the ship. You know, it's like their plan was just to examine us, and we end up overthrowing them.
Yep. Yeah, we take one of their research vessels, basically, and it was the one that. And the reason why it's shaped the way it is because it was designed for going back to that specific time period originally. But again, we screw enough with it that we're able to go through all different kinds of time periods.
For giggles, it'd be funny if we had a scene where, or even a couple of chapters where we've taken over the ship and we land on a planet that looks awfully like ours, and the alien race has been trying so hard to keep other races off of Earth, right? And all three of us show up on Earth, whatever time period, and we're running into like customs issues, and that could be the big twist of it. The fact that we take over the ship, we don't know how to fly it yet, but
well,
go ahead.
It also brings into why the captain would want to help us, because he'd be one of the very few that would actually believe we are the same species.
Yeah.
And for some odd reason, he just took a shiny to us. He's like, well, we don't want because maybe they thought we're failures and they found another planet that's better, kind of thing. So maybe they're about to delete us, and he's like, no, these guys are our brothers. Why would we do that? And then he helps us escape or whatever, kind of thing.
So kind of like he's a conscientious supporter or whatever type of thing, like a radicalist for his world. Pretty kind of fun. And then we become relevant too.
Yep. So we start building this kind of like world around this. And again, it's just funny because like we have these aliens who start everything, and really they just see us as like experiments. They don't really actually care about us. And then we make them by screwing up their plans royally.
And take their ship and then mess up a few places, and then so our eventual goal then is, do we want to just get home, or do we want to like figure out what's happening?
Well, we each had our own goal. Like I actually, if I get back home, I'm going to spend years in prison for a thing I never did, because of just where I grew up.
See, and that's where Asher probably doesn't, she doesn't know that her brother, if we go with that backstory, she doesn't know that her brother convinced the AI to actually protect her. I think at some point she would get a signal from the AI, and, that would, basically the AI shows up, either on a probe or on some kind of a thing, and she basically she discovers that maybe she wants to go home, but she at the end of it, she likes the exploration. She likes the seeing the world. She kind of how Jenny was in Doctor Who, when at the end of the Doctor, it's like at the end of the episode, it's like, oh, there's a lot of running to do.
And for us, and that's the thing is, we're a bunch of misfits. Maybe we don't want to go home. And and you actually are on the quest for an actual, like, the ultimate joke, which you're going to end up probably finding out the ultimate joke depends on what time period. It's going to depend on a whole bunch of different things. So you're going to have to, like, start a mathematical calculation of the ultimate joke or something. I don't know.
Like the comedian from Watchmen.
So basically, it's like, oh well, we'll just go along with Matt. Especially with your charisma score of, we're gonna have it like 25.
So, come on, just follow me. It'll be fine.
All my instincts say not to follow this guy.
So,
I'm going to anyways.
I actually wanted to plug this book too. I've been reading this book, The Structuring Your Novel by Cam Whelan, and she actually talks about like where to start your scene and stuff. Did you guys want to talk about that, or are we still doing world building stuff?
Go for it.
We did world building because Joe and I, that's part of our strength.
Okay.
And we were missing you.
Yes.
And we knew you wanted to talk about scenes, and our sceneness is not very strengthful.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I wing my scenes.
Yeah. Well, and really, like, she talks about like the best place to start is kind of like at that first domino. So like the domino that sets everything else in motion. And I think we've already kind of talked about like how we have. I mean, it could actually be about the captain first. You know, like he.
Yeah, I think him like maybe he might not even be like we call him captain, but in reality he's probably just a researcher who's probably been he was probably given our specific planet to be the overwatcher, you know. So he's been watching us specifically for like all of our lives in a way, and he's watched us escape from prison to prison to prison. So he's attached himself to us, and then when he finds out we're failures or we don't match what they want, then and that's kind of how he connects with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has strengths and weaknesses and stuff.
Yep, and that could also be how we can tell like a little bit of our backstories and what was happening to us through him as he observes us, and then lead into the story. I mean, that would be a perfect lead in because he'd be an observer of everything, so he'd be like a narrator. Yeah. He'd be like the what is it? Third person narrator until he becomes the first person.
Yeah. So do we want? Okay, so kind of what I'm thinking. I don't know if you guys want to go with this or not. These are just some of the thoughts I had. Is that the first scene is kind of him. We introduce him, kind of like trying to find a way to get us out of our prisons, and in his own like little political way and stuff, wherever he's at in the main captain's chambers. And then he comes up with a plan, goes to free us, and we're all out.
Yep.
And then
that'd be fun.
And then it jumps back to like the scene of like each person breaking out or something like that. I don't know.
Then he finds out we're recaptured and he has to do a replan. Happens again. Third time he finally gets. He decides to get to us before we escape again.
That would be funny.
So it's like the whole time you're like, yes, I hope these guys get out. And then like they show up like, what? And there you go.
That's so funny.
Okay, is there any chat on the Twitch channel about this?
So far there hasn't been.
Okay. All right, so we're free.
Yeah, we're free to keep it this way. Again, if you want to comment on any of this while you're on YouTube, feel free. We'll go over it next week on any YouTube or any comments on wowcast.com. So
we didn't really plug our website, but for those of you that have followed this long, you can find Ben, Matt, and myself on wowcast.com, WAOCAST.com, and our links are above us in the header there. You can also follow us on Twitter. We are at Word Art Online, the number 1, which is important. So yeah, feel free to give us a holler and join the conversation, because we want to build this story with you guys too, and that's a big part of this collaboration thing. It's not just us writing this story; it's incorporating you guys in. So. What's next, guys?
Next, it seems like almost we're ready to start, almost in a way. Or should we continue building an outline? Should we start and just see where it goes, or do we want to build an outline? Do we want to be pantsers or plotters?
We should probably check just I don't necessarily say we outline the first the whole book or anything like that, but maybe just doing a brief.
Oh.
For the first scene, or the first kind of like what's going on in that scene, what's what's taking place there. Matt, are you editing the doc, or you want me to?
I just added a little bit on the opening scene at the very bottom.
Sure.
I haven't touched the doc, and I'm hoping all that stuff has got in there.
If you want to, yeah. But I was just thinking too, like for a collaborative project, we may want to work more on outline. I don't know. just because pantsing might be hard.
It is. I mean, what we'll want to do is make an outline, assign each person a part of that outline.
Mm-hmm.
To start off, kind of the thing. So
We can actually just follow the hero's journey and just kind of go through those 15 different steps.
there's a hero's journey. There's another different outline for. I think with these guys, it definitely would be the hero's journey. The other outline I was talking about was overcoming the monster.
Thank you.
But there's going on a quest. But these guys are literally, they need to become heroes somehow.
Yeah.
So hero's journey would be perfect for these guys.
So, and I think that would be a good, like, just overall outline, and then we kind of go. I mean, and one thing that I do too is I'm kind of a loose, I don't know, would be a tight pants person.
Captain Tight Pants. Yes.
Or like
yes.
I like to plot, but then it's like at the same time as I'm first drafting, I don't care if it follows the plot or not.
Yeah, well, see, that's my book actually. The original outline I had and the outline I'm doing right now for my most recent book that I wrote half of, yeah, they don't even really make. They're like totally different. But it was good to have that. It's good to have the original plot, because then you know what you're working towards, and then you know when you get to it, you're like, that was stupid. Let's change it.
Yeah.
And then you know, this is a way better idea. I've got it now, kind of thing.
So I actually have a fun story about that. So I was writing, it was 2 nanos ago, I was writing a story, and like in my plot they were going to go back to like the fairy realm and get everything sorted out with the fairy realm. Well, then I realized like their only fairy had something terrible happen to them, and that's like what they were trying to get advice on for. It's like, oh, that would just end up with all of them dead if they went back there. So then I was like, okay, they have to go somewhere else. Then, just like completely took it a different way, and it worked that way. And, more plot devices came into play because of that, but,
Yeah, see, this thing is a lot of times is when you're writing it versus when you outline it. When you outline it, you don't think of everything. When you're writing it, you're like, that no longer makes sense, that's not going to work. Or, technically, I've already done that, and we still need to get to this part of the story. So, and that's why
I'm here.
Yep. So I agree. We kind of want to do. I in a way kind of want to plot the whole thing, and then when we start writing it, we just go, if we need to rewrite it, the plot, then we can.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I rewrite as I go. But I like to have an outline of everything in the beginning, just because I like to know point A to point B in a way, because you still have to, in the end, you're still aiming for that end goal. That's rarely going to change. Everything in between might, but your end goal is still your end goal. I don't know, has your end goal ever changed, Matt?
Not really. I mean, I was gonna say like the main points usually stay about the same. Like even the climax and stuff of it is pretty much the same. It's just like how they get there and stuff.
So that's why I think it's good to build the whole thing first, and then if we need to change everything in between point A and C, we can, but as long as we get to C, kind of thing. What do you think, Joe?
I agree. No. Well, I was looking here, and I found a thing where they say to do the novel scene chart. That apparently is pretty popular. Let me see. I downloaded it. Let me open it.
Say there's one in this book too. I'm gonna plug this book again because it's really good.
Yep, and I think they did mention that book too in what I am reading here. Who is the author?
While you guys
of
are
your
plugging
book?
stuff.
It's actually, yeah, I'll put a link to it. It's called Structuring Your Novel by Kay Whelan. And she actually, on her site, she actually goes through the 6 points for each scene. Oh crap! Oh good. Okay, I thought I lost you guys there for a moment.
Nope, you're fine.
Well, since everyone's plugging something, I'm plugging Doctor Strange. Because I can.
Okay, so basically a scene column, novel scene chart, while Matt pulls this up, the one that I found has, if it's done, you have a check mark, the scene number it is, the point of view of the character, a one-line description, expected pages, or expected number of pages, chapter number, and purpose of scene, notes about the scene. I think if we follow that, plus anything that Matt finds, I think it would be pretty good. You think?
Yeah, I actually like the way that I do it, which, I mean, this goes into how how detailed we want to go, is like, because each scene is broken down into 6 different points. Like, there's the goal, there's a conflict, there's the disaster, there's the character's reaction, there's a new dilemma that's caused by it, and then there's the decision that the character makes, and then that drives it to the next scene. But that, I mean, that's for every single scene, so that gets really heavy on the outline. And I, like, what I do, for me personally, is like, I'll just come up with like a basic, like, three main point, 15, kind of hero's journey type of structure. And then I'll go in and fill in the scenes after I do that, and then do it that way. So
Yeah, I kind of just go off the hero's journey. I create a really cool outline that you guys have seen on my Trello, I think once or twice. I think it is on our Trello, where it goes through. Okay, these are the outline of the hero's journey.
Somebody's wearing it.
And you need to do these for Act 1, these for Act 2, and these for Act 3. And each one is, and Act 1 needs to be 25%, Act 2 needs to be 50%, and Act 3 needs to be 30% of your story. And knowing that, I'm able to outline everything. So what we start off is with the ordinary world, which is going to have to be the ordinary world for the captain, because it won't be our ordinary world if we're already abducted.
that's true, which is fine, because we're still, like,
but again, we
characters
could
are
use
still in their ordinary, like, mindset.
Again, we could use him as a third-person narrative, because he's watched over us our whole lives, and he can easily do that to kind of explain our ordinary world and what we've done in it before we get abducted, kind of thing. If we want to do it that way.
Yeah.
Because again, he's a fourth-dimensional being. He's seen us from birth to life, and all in our different timelines. He's seen us in prison. He's studied us and everything else, and all the way up to where we are now.
That would actually be kind of a cool opening line, even, like, from birth till death. I've watched the millions of lives unfold, or something like that.
Yep, and then he could even talk about how he could have even seen our deaths, but then we got pulled out of the timeline when we started to be experimented.
Yeah.
So he's seen what we could have been, but now it's unknown what we will become. Yeah. Ooh, I like that wording, just right there.
Write it down. Joe, you're on it.
Oh, Joe's already written it down.
What did I write?
I don't know.
I said,
I got distracted.
The guy knows what we would have been from life to death, but since we've been pulled out of the timeline, he no longer knows what we can become. Because them being fourth-dimensional beings, they would have seen our life all the way from beginning to end, and then they yanked us out of our time stream. So now we're like completely rogue elements, unless they put us back in.
So we were.
But that's the problem. Why they kill us off.
We were kind of accidents. They were meaning to pull people that didn't have a purpose in the timeline, but they actually realized through the story that we actually do have a big part to play in the timelines.
Or there's also there could have been something like, let's say I could have invented the first flying car, but that wouldn't have worked with another Earth. Okay? So they yanked me out of the timeline to prevent that. you could have invented the first AI Joe, like the first AI that was like literally thinking, but they pulled you out of the timeline because that didn't go with the other Earths, kind of thing. It might not have been that we were insignificant. It might have been we were too significant.
I could see that.
Yeah, that we would have altered something that would have like given our Earth an advantage over the others.
Yeah.
Just to give everybody heads up, we've got 9 minutes left. So,
Like Matt, he would have talked Helena. He would have talked Helen and Paris out of the whole thing. The Trojan War never would have happened.
I like that. I like that. So, okay. So the captain, from the point of view from the captain, do we want to have him to open it up with a journal?
Well,
I actually
I
like
don't
that
know.
idea. Well, it'd be like a science journal that's kind of like he's dictating star date 400. Captain Cook star date 452.4.
Yes, yes.
Or how I used to.
Our captain is Patrick Stewart.
So like I mean, it would make sense. He's a scientist, so he would be writing down his discoveries and stuff like that, and it would maybe be. And I mean, it would make sense to make it as a journal, and then he starts spilling his guts into it, and thus building the
Ooh,
story.
I was just thinking though, like he wouldn't actually have a date for it because he's outside of time.
Yep.
So that could actually even be kind of a cooler hook. Is like how does he record a journal How would you record a journal outside of time?
Yeah. Because the journal itself would become the fixed point.
Yeah.
I like the idea of the opening scene. He's standing there. He's standing there, maybe in front of a big grid, a big timeline. I'm picturing a glass screen with a bunch of timelines on it, right? And it's showing when they have pulled somebody out. And a person, like maybe a person had just recently died in the aliens' care, and because of that, the timeline's changed. So he's reflecting upon that change in the timelines.
Yeah. So you'd see like there would be a timeline where they can split off.
Yeah,
To
because
show all the different splits off.
what happens is
at that split off point there'd be a picture.
Yep.
Of a person.
Yep. And then the timeline would split there, kind of like a burst of little energy, almost like looking at a star chart.
I was saying that could be how he records his journals too, is based on those deviations.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
What do they call them in League Extraordinary or Legends of Tomorrow? Time aberrations.
Yeah. Another
So time aberration 14. But the only problem is as they solve the aberrations, the numbers change. But they'd probably have a mechanical journal that would auto change those for them.
Yeah.
Time correcting itself in a way.
What do we name the captain? Do we want to name him Stewart?
Well, he's not actually a captain; he's a scientist, but we call him captain.
Yeah, because he's the only one who knows how to fly the thing. Once we
Yeah. In reality, he's
everyone
like.
else.
In reality, he's like Doctor something. But we call him captain because it just made sense to us.
So he is Captain.
Captain Doctor Captain.
I do have a list of names I used for Elfwood. Let me pull that list up and see. They're Japanese. They're Japanese kitsune names, but I mean they work.
Let's say, can you use them though if they're in Elfwood or?
Haven't used them in published works yet.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Let's see.
Dr. Norris Norderson. Dr.
Bone
I can't remember the Dr. Nori Yoderson. I can't remember where that's from.
Captain Snarf.
Chat popped up.
Snarf.
Snarf. I like it. Captain
Hang on. We got chat. I'm not
Who we
paying.
got?
I'm not paying attention.
Jameson. Troll.
Jim Troll.
Too many windows.
Oh, that's too cliche.
Jim Troll.
Jim Jameson, done.
Jim Jameson. I like that.
Jim Jameson. Jim Jonah Jameson. Or is that too close?
Well, the thing is like you can't pronounce my name in your language, so you guys can just call me Dr. John Smith, or you can call me Dr. Jim Jameson.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just say go say Jim Jameson. We don't want to steal too much from who.
I'll just say Jameson. I'll just use his last name for thing. So another timeline blinking out. Jameson thought to himself as he looked at the screen in front of him. The timelines of his race, his kin spread out like
Subjects.
Creations, baby.
his
It would be
kin.
subjects or creations. It would be one. Actually, I think it would be subjects
Yeah,
in this case because he's not the one who created him,
yeah, it's true.
or maybe
Well,
he'd
but they are
because
family, and maybe that's how the races. Maybe that's how the races actually follow the time. The aliens follow the timelines. Is their genetic people are who they follow. So, like, Jameson's ancestors are, only a tenth of the population that's out there in all the worlds that were created. And because that otherwise you run into the issue of these, one person is looking at thousands and hundreds and millions of things. How do you focus that down to, kind of like he's looking at Ancestry.com.
that could make sense too. So in fact, they are his seeds.
So
Or they
maybe
wouldn't be
like
his seeds, like his grandparents' seeds or something.
Yeah.
maybe you could refer to them as like branches or something. Or I don't know
Of
how
his
would you
kin.
like you could,
Branched out across the universe. Again, branched
I'd say
across
universes.
the universes
Yeah, universities.
and timelines.
Universi. Sorry. No, we just messed me up while you're trying to write.
And maybe that's okay. I've got never mind. Let's see.
You've got enough distractions right now.
Yes. One in particular. I'm gonna get in trouble. Anyway, let's see. Branched out across the universes. It's.
And the other thing is he could see the fact that these are. I mean, you could add this into the whole thing of he's seen like these literal pivoting points in scientific discovery and everything else just blink out because it doesn't match the other timelines, kind of thing. So, like, you inventing that AI could have changed the world tenfold, creating this great, massive, awesome timeline where my guy could have built off of your AI, creating the first public transportation system that did not rely on human beings or something like that, and it would have snowballed and it would have been so great. And he sees that in that one blink, all that stuff is lost.
I'd say one of it could be like the whole idea of artificial intelligence could have been like a joke that the Jester came up with.
Well, like, no, the thing is you could have maybe at one point in time outlined the thought process of the human
Are you
brain
excited to get home?
and your whole ability
Quest.
to understand people.
Yeah.
And from there, from your outline of the human brain came the first thought process for the AI kind of thing. Like how Da Vinci, he comes up with things that years later they were able to actually like say, oh, well that actually is
Yeah.
plausible now. So like you created this theory that he then builds his AI off of, that I then build something else off of, and it snowballed. And it would have been like this weird thing. So then when they delete you, well, Joe still being a pivoting point, still invents something. It's just not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's lesser. And then they delete Joe. I still invent something being pivotal, but again, it's lesser than what it was in both other timelines.
Yeah.
So it keeps diminishing. It not only does it diminish, not only have we diminished the accomplishments that could have been, we diminish the whole timeline by doing that in a way.
All right, well, it's past 10 now.
It is 10:01. Yep, we did a really good job tonight, guys. For next week, what do we want to do? Do we want to have homework?
I probably won't be able to just till I start a new job.
Yeah.
True.
I think next week what we need to do is work on scene 1,
Captain's log.
his captain's log. Yep.
That will be the title of the episode next week, Captain's Log. Where is my notes? Trello. Okay, so I will add this to our show notes for episode 34.
Woo!
We're going to have a big party when we get to 50. We're going to publish the book, so I don't know.
I don't know if we'll be that far into the book.
Captain's got log. There you go. Anyway.
I'll drop a log now.
Anyway, folks, thank you so much for sticking with us this hour of the Word Art Online Google Hangout, or Hangout show, I guess. I don't know. We want to thank our viewers for joining us, and our studio audience. Yay! We actually have a studio audience, which is cool. But you can find us on our website, wowcast.com. That's WAOCAST.com. You can also find us at Word Art Online, the number 1, on Twitter. And for more antics, stay tuned. Tomorrow we'll post up the links to this episode, and you'll be able to find it and watch it and then comment on it. So we hope you come back and help us to keep writing this story. We definitely want to get your input and make this a really cool story. I think we've got the foundation of a pretty cool thing. So, from all of us here at the Word Art Online Studios, this is Joe signing off.
Ben, sign off.
Yeah, signing off.